So let me paint a picture for you and tell me if you've ever lived this. It's Monday morning. You sit down, ready to work. You got your cup of coffee, good intentions all around. And then you think, where is that file? Wait, what was the link to the thingy? Did I ever reply to that person that sent me an email? Where is my password? Let me check in the one email real quick. Oh, that one. Okay. Now, what was I doing? 2 hours later, that's what you're thinking. What was I doing? You've been working the whole time. Yeah. You never stop working. You never stop moving. But the actual important thing, which is the needle mover, that thing you sat down to do never happened. You never touched it. And you feel that familiar little knot in your stomach, that one that whispers and says, "Oh, you're behind." And you don't even know how you got there. You're thinking like, "How did I get here?" My friend, I want to tell you something. Today, that might sting a little, but I say it with so much love that knot in your stomach is not a you problem. It's not because you're lazy or scattered or not cut out for this. It's a system problem. Yep, it's a system problem. And the good news is this. The good news about a system problem is that it is fixable. Everything is fixable. Stay with me, okay? Because by the end of our time together, you're going to see your chaos completely different. Hey, my friend, welcome back to the Organizedpreneur Podcast, a show where we believe that an organized home, an organized business opens the pipeline for creativity. I'm your host, Dream, and I'm so glad that you pressed the play button today. Now, if you're new here, let me tell you exactly who I am and what I do. I'm talking to the podcaster and the service-based entrepreneur, the coach, the consultant, the woman who is building something real on a real schedule with a real budget. You're wearing all the hats, you're doing all the things. And here's how I help. I'm an efficiency architect and a fractional COO for those of you who are podcasters, service-based entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants. And what that means in plain language is that I help you build systems and behind the scenes operations that actually makes your business run so you can stop drowning in the day-to-day business stuff all over the place. You stop drowning in that and start building your business and the life that you dreamed about. And that word for you, my friend, for me, is called operations. That's exactly where we're living today. If you caught last week's episode, Redeeming the Time, we talked about two kinds of time in Scripture: Chronos time, which is your clock time, and then Kairos time, which is the appointed opportune time. And the big takeaway was that when you steward your ordinary time well, you create margins to say yes to the moments that God appoints. And you don't want to miss that. And I don't want you to miss that. If you haven't heard it yet, go back and listen after you listen to this one. Go back and listen to the previous episode, which is episode 210. Yeah, it's actually episode 210. And so I want you to get back to being able to be available for the appointed time. Because here's the question that that episode leaves you with. It's like, okay, Dream, I'm convicted. I want to steward my time, but how? My calendar is still chaotic. My business still feels like a pile of sticky notes and good intentions. I get it. And you may be thinking, well, where do I even start? And that's okay, because today we're going to be answering how. And it comes down to one truth. I want you to write this down right now. The one truth: no systems equals no freedoms. Say it with me. No systems equals no freedom. No systems, no freedom. And we're going to unpack that today. But first, the real hidden cost of having no systems. There's a cost to it. And I promise it's bigger than you think. So that's what we'll cover first. Second, we'll talk about why systems are actually the opposite of what you fear. I remember a friend of mine saying that systems have me feeling constricted or restricted. It's restrictive, right? But systems don't trap you, they free you. And third, we'll talk about 4 simple $0 systems that can set you up this very week to start. That's what you can do. You can start this week getting your systems decently and in order. Okay? All right, so let's get into it. So, first, we're going to talk about the hidden cost of chaos. Let's talk about what disorganization is actually costing you, because most of us think being disorganized is, it's just a little bit annoying. A messy inbox, a cluttered desktop, a few missed follow ups, no big deal, right? Wrong. What's happening is you're quietly bleeding. The lack of systems is quietly bleeding you in 4 different places. And I want to name every one of them. So let's just stay with me here today. Stay with me. So, cost number 1 is costing you time. Yeah, something you can't even get back. So, in the previous episode, remember we talked about the penny jar. Okay, disorganization is the hole in the bottom of the jar. Every time you hunt for a file, every time you recreate something you already made, every time you buy something you already have, every time you re-explain the same thing for the 5th time, or sit trying to decide what to do next because there's no plan, you're losing minutes. And those minutes are fragments, and those fragments add up to hours every single week. Studies show that, and this is staggering, the average professional loses a significant chunk of their week just searching for information and switching back and forth between tasks. I know for certain where I read it cost you at least 20 minutes every time you switch back and forth with multitasking, right? People think that they are really saving time when they multitask. But that may be an episode for another time. The bottom line is that you are significantly losing time. It's costing you time. And for you, that's not just lost time. That's lost episodes, it's lost clients, and it's lost income and revenue. So that's cost number one. It's costing you time, which inevitably will cost you income. All right. So that leads me to number two. Cost number two is costing you money. And this one is just kind of sneaky because when you don't have systems, you make money mistakes that you don't even see. You forget invoices to someone, you forget to invoice them, right? You miss a follow up with a warm lead that just got cold. You pay for subscriptions you forgot that you forgot you had. You drop the ball on a guest and they never come back. Even one of those is real dollars. Just one. It's real dollars walking out the door. Disorganization is expensive, my dear sister. It's just it let me say it this way. Disorganization is expensive. It just doesn't send you a bill. Let that sink in. All right. Now that it's sunk in, let's go to cost number three. It's costing you energy and peace. And this is the one that nobody really talks about. When everything lives in your head, every task, every reminder, oh, I can't forget to fill in the blank. Your brain, get this. Your brain is running background apps all day long. You know how when you look at your phone and your phone uh, has all of these apps running in the background? That's what's happening to your brain. Okay, when you don't have systems in place, it's costing you energy and peace. You're exhausted and you can't figure out why, because you have no idea how much energy it takes to be your own filing cabinet, your own calendar, your own reminder all at once. Your brain is not designed to be a filing cabinet. It actually is trying to work for you. It's trying to systemize the things, all of the things that you have going on in your head. That mental clutter and that mental load is real, my sister. It's stealing your peace that God wants you to walk in. Remember, God is not a God of confusion. He is not the author of confusion, but of peace. All right, cost number four. And this is the big one. It's costing you opportunities. This is where it ties straight back to last week's episode. When you are buried in chaos, you have zero margin. With no margin, you cannot say yes to the Kairos moments when they show up. Kairos moments, again, that's opportunities. The dream client may email you, but you're so behind that you can't even take them on. The big opportunity that appears, but you are too underwater to even see it. Listen, I'm not telling, this is not theory. This is based on people that I've talked to, conversations that I've had with other people, and conversations in my head, in my own business. Okay? So when that big opportunity appears, but you're so underwater to even see it, let alone seize it, that's what it's costing you. Your chaos isn't just costing you what you have, it's costing you what you could have had or you could have been. And that one to me is the most expensive one of all. So add those up: time, money, energy, opportunity. That's the real price tag of I'll get organized later. No, it's costing you right now. Okay. All right. So those are the 4. Now, this may not be an all-inclusive list. However, this is a very important list for you to think about and write down. Time, money, energy, and opportunity. That's the price tag. All right. So I said we're going to talk about why systems set you free, because this is where I have to address the elephant in the room, right? Because when I say the word systems, I know what happens for some of you. Like I said, I've talked to people who think or who feel like systems are restrictive, right? I can't be creative. I'm a very creative. I'm spontaneous. Systems feel rigid. They feel like a cage. Hmm. I don't want to become a robot following a checklist. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I hear. The checklist is too restrictive. It will kill the very creativity that makes my business mine. And I hear you. I hear you. But I want you to flip that belief completely upside down, because it's the single biggest lie that keeps entrepreneurs stuck. It keeps entrepreneurs from scaling. That keeps entrepreneurs from leveling up, if you will. Because here's the truth: a system is not a cage, a system is a container. And a container is what gives water its power. Think about this. Water with no container just spreads out into a puddle and goes nowhere. But that but put that same water into a container, that gives it banks and direction. And now you've got a river. Now you've got force. Now you've got something that carves canyons. Think about that. Your creativity is the water. It's the water, baby. Systems are the banks that turn it into a river instead of a puddle. Let me give you a real example. When you have a simple system for publishing your podcast episodes, a repeatable checklist, you're not killing your creativity. You are protecting it, because now you're not burning your precious creativity. Okay? Your precious creativity, your energy, trying to remember the 4 steps it takes to get an episode out the door. But I'm telling you this from experience. You got to protect it. Your system remembers things for you. Yeah. Those 4 steps that, we just talked about. Well, actually, the system remembers for you, and it frees your mind to do the thing only you can do: create, because it can't create for you. The systems handles the routine so you can pour your genius into the work that matters. Yeah. And this is exactly what I mean when I tell my clients systems don't restrict their freedom, they create freedom. The most free, the most peaceful, the most creative entrepreneurs I know are not those who are the most spontaneous ones. They're the ones that have the systems. They're the ones that have the most systemized ones, because their systems are quietly running in the background, which means their minds are free. Their margins is protected, and they get to say a joyful yes when the opportunity knocks. I had a client that, well, she's still my client. And so when I used to do decluttering challenges, she joined my decluttering challenge. She had no inclination to launch a business. That was about 3 years ago. Fast forward 3 years, she's running a 6-figure virtual assistant agency because she got clarity. Yeah. That's what it will do for you. Yeah. And because she decluttered, she was able to think through some things that allowed the margin for the opportunities to present itself. And this is deeply biblical because we serve a God of order. In Genesis, he didn't create things in chaos, he brought structure. He separated, he set things in place day by day in order. So, order is not the enemy of creativity, order is the soil creativity grows in. What? Yeah, I'm going to say that one more time. Order is the soil creativity grows in. When you build a system, you are reflecting the very nature of the God who made you. So I need you to let go of the lie that organized means rigid and flip it on its head. Organized means free. No system, no freedom. A good system is the most freeing thing you will ever build in your business. Okay, now let's get practical because I want to talk about 4 systems for you to set up this week. Okay, now it's practical and I'm also going to keep it doable. I'm not going to hand you some massive 40-tab operations manual today. That would be just adding more chaos. I'm going to give you 4 simple $0 systems. You do not need fancy software. This is something you can start right now. You can start every one of these systems I'm going to talk about with free tools or a notebook. And pick even one and just do it this week. And I promise you will feel the difference in your day. All right, so here they are. System 1, the one place capture system. This is the foundation, so start here. Right now, if you have tasks and ideas living everywhere, sticky notes, your phone, back of your hand, 3 different apps, and mostly your overworked brain, this is the thing that's costing you. I want you to consider this rule. Everything goes in one place. One place. Pick a single home for every task and idea. That's what I do. I actually have a notebook right here next to me. Everything goes in there. So I know where to look. And so a simple document, it could be an app, a free notes app, notebook, like I said. And when a thought comes, it goes into that one place. That's it. The single habit. This is the single habit that takes the mental load off of your brain and puts it somewhere safe. You stop being the filing cabinet. Remember, I just told you, your brain is not designed to be a filing cabinet. This helps you to stop being the filing cabinet, and then your mind gets to exhale. Now, some people, consider this a brain dump. I do this every week. I call it my brain thought download. I don't like the word dump, and I've said that several times, and you'll probably hear me say it again. But one place, okay? Because I don't want those in my head. When I do that, it's like I'm walking around thinking, okay, I want to keep this there until I find some place to put it. Or if I just jot it down on an envelope, then it's released from my head. But then what happens is you come back and you're like, okay, now where did I put that? So if you always put it in one place, you put it in the one place where it's off of your brain and it's somewhere safe because you know it's in that one place. Okay, that's system one. It's called the one place capture system. System two, the weekly reset. Pick one day. Now, for me, it's Sunday evening and sometimes Monday morning. It just depends on what happens, over the weekend. But give yourself 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or maybe even an hour for a standing weekly reset. Same time every week. Okay? And in that amount of time, whether it's 30 minutes or what have you, you're going to do three things. You're going to look back at what got done. You're going to look ahead at what's coming. And you're going to pick your top 3 priorities for the week. That's it. Okay? This is a system that makes sure that you're rowing and moving forward to the shore on purpose instead of just paddling in circles. Okay? So that 30 minutes will save you time. It saves your whole week. All right, so that's the weekly reset. System number 3, the repeatable checklist. Think about the thing you do over and over and over in your business. Publishing an episode, onboarding a client, sending a newsletter, all of those things. And I know some of you who are listening are podcasters, and some of you are also service-based business owners. You might be a one-person business. You might be a an agency. Like I was just sharing with you, my client who has a virtual assistant agency. Wherever you land, you don't need to be reinventing the wheel or reinventing the task every single time. That is exhausting. And it's also how steps get dropped. So the next time you do the task, you write down every step as you go. And then congratulations, you just built a checklist. Now, as you all know, I do recommend you using AI. Okay? And when you create this repeatable list, run it through your AI app, whatever platform that you use, run it through there and ask it, am I missing something? Is there a step that I'm missing? And it will help you to do that, provided that you have given it enough context. Okay, don't just throw everything in AI. You got to give it some context, but that's for another show. But you want to build that checklist. And now you never have to hold those steps in your head. Nothing falls through the cracks. And this is the system that lets you eventually hand things off, right? I never forget when I was in my organizing business. Yeah, organizing business. And I decided I was going to hire someone to help me. And the thing I had not done, I had not created a checklist. And so that created more work for me and her. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So you definitely want to do this. And this was back in 2003. So didn't have AI at the time, but I certainly should have taken the time to write down those steps. Okay. So, but this is the system that lets you eventually hand things off, because a documented process is the first step to delegation. Okay. Don't make the mistake that I made. All right. System 4, the shutdown ritual. The shutdown ritual. This one protects your peace. And at the end of your workday, you can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to close the loops. Glance at your one place list that we talked about in step 1. Jot down the very thing that you'll tackle on the next day. And then, this is the important part, give yourself permission to actually stop. What? What a concept. What a concept. The reason you lie awake at night with your brain just spinning is because the loops are still open. They're still open. The shutdown ritual closes them. It tells your mind it's handled, it's written down. You can rest now. And rest, oh, it's biblical. The Sabbath. Even God rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because he wanted to give you a pattern to go by. So there are your 4 systems: the capture everything in one place. That's number 1. The 30-minute weekly reset. Number 2. A repeatable checklist for the things that you do over and over. That's number 3. And then number 4, the 5-minute shutdown ritual to close the loops and protect your rest. Not one of them cost any money. All of them give you back your time, your money, your peace, your energy, your margin. So let me land the plane, let me bring this home. I started out by telling you that the knot in your stomach that tells you I'm behind and I don't know how I got there. How did I get here? That feeling. It's not a you problem, it is a system problem. And so I hope that you can feel the weight lifting already, because a system problem has a solution. Say that again. A system problem has a solution. You're not broken. Your business just needs some banks for the river. Remember the cost of staying in chaos. It's stealing your time, your money, your energy, and worst of all, those opportunities, your kairos moments. And remember the reframe. A system is not a cage, it is a container. Okay? The system is not a cage, it's a container. And the container is what gives you freedom. No system, no freedom. So here's the 1-step action, or the 1 action step, right? Before the next episode. Just 1. Set up your system 1 that we just talked about. That 1 place. Pick your 1 place, that 1 app, that 1 doc, that 1 notebook, and start putting everything there. Just that. That's all I want you to do. Don't try to do all 4 this week. Master that 1 place system, and you will have built the foundation that everything else sits on. Now, if you know in your gut that systems are exactly what's missing, then don't just let this be another tip. Okay? Maybe you need someone to actually help you build the operations behind your business. That is the heart of what I do as a fractional COO and efficiency architect. So if you're ready to stop being buried and start running things decently and in order, find me. The details are in the show notes, and I would love to help you build it. Now, I want to leave you in the Word because this is where we always land. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and 40, it says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." Decently and in order. This is not just a good business advice, my sister. That's a kingdom principle. God Himself works in order. And when you bring order to your business, you're walking in step with the very nature of your Creator, God Himself. So build your one system this week. Bring a little order to the chaos and watch the freedom that flows from it. All right. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now. Have an amazingly organized day.